Yeah.
I think we go to Shaqiri FC, aka Chicago Fire. This is how Chicago Fire win the World Cup.
I think you
This,
mean the Roger Federers.
stop it.
I will not. I will never.
This is how Chicago Fire win the World Cup. They take an international legend, they put them on a team, and they send that team directly to the World Cup. And that team is Switzerland. They're 15th ranked in the world, going into their 12th ever finals after barely holding on in a group versus Lithuania, Bulgaria, Northern Ireland, and Italy. They look for their first semifinal appearance. They did barely advance to the knockout stage in Euro 2020 versus Turkey, Wales, and Italy. Um, but they did get to knock out France on penalties before losing to Spain on penalties in that tournament. They lost in the round of 16 to Sweden at World Cup 2018, and they finished third in their Nations League group, which included Spain, Portugal, and Czech Republic. So, talk to me about how that Nations League group went for them. Talking about the last couple games.
So the start of the 5 game window for them wasn't the best. It started out with a 4-0 loss against ninth ranked Portugal and a 1-0 loss against seventh ranked Spain. I kind of get it. Those are definitely two tough teams to play against, but they bounced back really well and rounded out this 5 game stretch with a 1-0 win against Portugal, a 2-1 win against Spain, and then a 2-1 win against 35th ranked Czech Republic. So um, I think they've clearly shown that they can hang in there with the top teams. They can battle, they can win, but there definitely is the potential that, they kind of have those first two type of games where they get thrashed by Portugal or they end up losing to Spain. So seems a little kind of up and down from them, but I think the potential's there to, get a result.
Yeah, no, I think that they're better than what people think. Um, but they're up and down. They're not consistent.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
One of my key players, or let's talk about goal scorers. Goal scorers for them in the 3 games that they scored goals: Brill Mbolo, Freuler, Akanji, and Seferovic. Not a lot of goals, but they did score. So things to take a look at. My first key player is Brill Mbolo. I remember when we played like FIFA 15, and he was like the guy with the highest potential in the world. He was going to be a world beater. Um, but he moved to the Bundesliga and found decent success, and now he's hit the ground running at Monaco in France. 7 goals, 2 assists in 14 games. Only 11 goals for Switzerland in 58 games, but he's been in good form during the Nations League. He's very good with hold up play. He'll get behind when he needs, and he'll score the ball. So keep an eye on him as being their main man up front.
Yeah, definitely a good shout. I was definitely a big fan of him during that FIFA time as well. Next one on my list. He's a bit of a meme in past seasons, especially for Arsenal fans. It's Granit Xhaka.
Mine too.
Um, this season, he's a whole new player from what I've understood. I mean, I don't watch Arsenal week in, week out, but from what I've gathered, is he's completely different now. He is really hit a good level of form this season. And I mean that's showing in the numbers. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists and 14 appearances from the midfield. I think that's great return that you're getting. But it seems like he's doing kind of a bit of everything for them. Um, and he's been doing kind of the same for Switzerland. Not as much involved in the goals and assists, but in 6 Nations League games, he had over a 7 rating. Same thing for the World Cup. Only 2 games there for qualifying, but over a 7 rating as well. So seems to be a pretty crucial player for them. I think he'll be a good leader for them as well. He's got good experience, but yeah, definitely another key player for them.
I also had him there. I agree with basically everything you said. I think one of the big things you need to watch with him, he mistimes tackles. He gets stuck in a little bit too easily and frequently. And he's usually, if you just turned on a random game, you're probably going to see this man in yellow card trouble. In a tournament where 2 yellow cards gets you a suspension in a game in a group that very likely will come down to the last game, not great. So something definitely to watch with him, especially as you get to game 2 or 3. My last player um, is Akanji. He impressed at Dortmund as a defender, which of course meant that Pep needed to buy him because if he doesn't spend $1.5 billion on defenders, then really what's the point of being a coach, right? So Pep saw him, spent whatever money he did to buy him to make that defense good enough to not win the Champions League again. Um, he made 42 appearances for Switzerland so far and has started most games for City this season. Um, he's very good in possession. He reads the game very well. Um, he's got good strength, good defensive awareness, and he's going to need it to handle the attackers in this group. So definitely look for him to step up on this world stage.
Yeah, that's who I had as well. So not much more for me to add on there.
Nice. All right. Well, then why don't you add to this podcast a starting 11 for the Switzerland side?
Sure. So I've got Switzerland lined up in a 4-2-3-1. I have got Jan Sommer in goal. In the defense, I've got Rodriguez, Akanji, Elvedi, and Vidmer. Then the midfield two in front of them, I've got Freuler and Xhaka. The three in attack I have in front of them, I've got Vargas, Sao, and Shaqiri. And then I've got Embolo up top at striker.
I've got a little bit different. I've got him in a 4-3-3, which is basically just a 4-2-3-1 with, you know, two players that go high, one player tucks in. It's the same shape. So I've actually got Kobel in goal. I don't know if Jan Sommer is going to get the start. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really look up too much if he made a ton of appearances for them. When I was going through the Nations League game, I thought I saw Kobel in there more. So I gave it to him.
I think Jan Sommer was hurt, but I'm not sure.
Okay, that might do it. But I went with Kobel. I think he's still going to be a fine choice for them. Left to right, I've got Rodriguez. I've got Fabian Schär, Akanji, and Widmer. In the middle three, much like you, I got Freuler, Xhaka, and So. Imagine So's just in that attacking spot, sure, whatever. And then the front three, Vargas, Shaqiri, and Embolo. So very similar to you, just a different shape and a few different players.
Sure.